Hey everyone, it's Abby and welcome back to the channel. We are in a new set because I finally set up my creative corner in my room and I moved out of my previous apartment. So it's been a wild ride and I'm glad to be back, and hopefully there will be more videos where I actually talk and catch up with you. So happy fall! It is the first week of November, and since it's the first week of November, the first Friday of November is always Fountain Pen Day, and so me and my bestie Job of Job's Journal have teamed up to create a collaboration video where we talk about our top 3 fountain pens and top 3 inks. So apart from that, we also went all in and we did a printable on Patreon, so you can get it over at Job's Patreon and my Patreon, so we both have different designs. So if you want to catch them all and get them, make sure to check out the link below. I also created this spread, which is going to be the bulk of this video, and I talk about some of my favorite fountain pens and inks that made the cut. It was very hard to pick. We picked 3 pens and 3 inks, so we wanted to make sure that we had to narrow down everything and really like take a look at what we had. And obviously you'll pretty much say that it's pretty predictable on what I ended up choosing. So I do hope you enjoy this video. So usually I would share that these 2 are my favorite pens, and I've always mentioned them in videos in the past. So we're gonna put a spotlight to my other pens that I think also deserve the hype. This pen is the 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚔 M400 in white tortoiseshell, and it's in EF. It's the first pen that I got when I moved to Berlin in February 2022. It was my little reward. We literally bought it the same day that I got my approval for my permit to stay here. It writes pretty wet in a way that the nib is generally thicker because it's a German nib. It doesn't look like EF, but it actually is extra fine, which is very interesting, and I still use it from time to time because it glides really smooth. Like the nib writes really well. And yeah, these are lyrics to Taylor Swift's State of Grace because I couldn't think of anything else to use for writing material. The second pen is my new pen, the Nagasawa Gierske in medium fine. I got this at the San Francisco International Pen Show. It's my first demonstrator pen, which means it's clear. Like, you can see everything inside the pen, which I really like. And it has this like rose gold finish, rose gold trim, and I really like it. It was also my first 21K nib, which means that it writes smoother than the 14K, and it's also a bit more expensive. But this one, I feel like I use it from time to time, and it's always been a mainstay since I got it because it just writes really well, and I know what to expect because the way that it's produced, it's similar to a Sailor pen, Sailor Pro Gear pen. Gierske means gear, Pro Gear skeleton, by the way. The next one is also a new pen that I think I never shared here, but my good friend Christine of Everyday Explorers Co. gave this to me. She surprised me and gave this to me as a gift. So this is actually a 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 But generally, the 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚔 is a great beginner pen, and just look at the cute smiley face on the nib. I really like it. It's a workhorse pen, does the job, and you can never go wrong with Pilot's nibs. I personally like using Pilot Fine because it writes really well, as well as just Pilot nibs are just the best. You can quote me on this, but that's just really my personal favorite. I really like Pilot. That's why I also have the custom 823, and it's been my grail pen for like 2 years now. So what I really like about these three pens is that they're all versatile and they have their own special qualities, and I felt like they deserved my top 3 for this year because I also ended up using most of these pens and went on rotation with a lot of my other pens. I actually didn't use a lot of mica Vicos for a while, so I've been like putting everything on rotation at the moment. Moving on to inks, ideally, I am very basic when it comes to inks because I feel like after like more than 2 years of figuring out what ink colors I like, I feel like I stick to very specific ones, which involve the shades of orange, yellow, green, and brown. So it's no surprise that most of the inks that I will share with you are in that color family. And also, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 3 inks. These are the inks that I used so much this year, and we're gonna be journaling about it. So I will be using the printables that Job and I created that I mentioned earlier in this video, as well as the new stamp set from Everyday Explorers Co. featuring ink swatching prompts, which are going to be really great for our little journaling session where I share with you my personal favorite inks. It was definitely hard to pick, so I picked 3 that I've been using regularly this year, and then I have some honorable mentions that made it to the cut, and I like them for their color changing properties. So the insert I'm using is the MD Paper Cream. It's the one that I use mostly for anything journaling related, so it just makes sense for me to swatch inks there because it's easier to kind of reference back and see. And this first one is called Lennon 𝚘𝚍𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 it's really legible on paper. The second one is a Kobe number 15 Micro Green. This is one of my all-time favorite inks. It comes off as a true green. And my number 3 pick is the Kobe number 8 Arima Amber, which is a nice ambery orange. I think as of now, it's pretty straightforward as to the type of inks that I like. I'm not big on color changing inks, but these ones that I'm gonna share with you, my honorable mention ones, I feel like fall under that category just because I like using them for funsies. The first one is Sailor Yuramiku Amomoyoi. It has a really nice color changing property. It used to be the ink I used frequently for my weeks as well. This is a new favorite. It's a Diamine Candlelight from the Inkvent 2021 series. It's a nice yellowy orange that I like using, and it's very legible as well. And lastly, this is a Filipino brand. It's called On Inks. This wasabi salmon color is just chef's kiss because you see a lot of color changing, and it really literally is wasabi salmon. So to close this off, I wanted to also share with you my currently inked at the moment. Since it's autumn, I am very heavy on utilizing that as a way for me to ink all my autumn themed inks onto my pens, and they are usually on this shade. I feel like I don't have that much greens at the moment and dark browns. I'm more leaning towards orange, but mostly it's because of this season. And this 𝚘𝚘𝚅 yellow, fun fact, it's one of my favorites, but I don't have a bottle because Job gave me a sample at the pen show. So it's still loaded on my Pelican pen, so I'm gonna use it until it finishes. I also went back to ink Inaho because I know it's phased out, but I thought of using my stash might as well, so I loaded it on my Sailor pen, which I really love. And it's really nice to kind of have a currently inked tracker. I try to do this like every month because I want to see the different inks that I have used, how they behave on certain pens. You'll see that some nibs actually have a good pairing with certain inks. I feel like it's like wine pairings or coffee pairings or so, but definitely want to say that I feel like I've reached a point where I really am comfortable with the pens and inks I use, so I'm quite happy about them. This is the finished journal spread. I do hope you enjoyed this video where I talk about all of these things about pens and inks, and I'm looking forward to see what your favorites for the year were. Make sure to check out Joe's video as well, where he talks about his top 3 pens and inks. And by the way, we did not discuss whether or not we have a similar ink or similar pen choice. So if we do, then it's pretty obvious that we have the same taste. But make sure to check it out on his channel and subscribe to my channel or his channel, because most of you actually are not subscribers. So if you'd like to see videos on journaling, documenting, traveling, and talking about fountain pens and all things analog. That's what my channel is about. From time to time, I also plan to add more vlogs. So that's my goal this autumn, to film more and to document more about my life in general. Also, I wanted to add that this month on Patreon, our theme is we're doing all right, because I started sending monthly mail last October. So this month, these are the rewards. So you have a print of, this is actually my first ever fountain pen collection 2021. So it's a print of this one, as well as this sticker where it says doing all right. And we're gonna be including a couple of postage stamps. I just wanted like jazz things up for the happy mail, but you will get them by mail, and we only have a limited amount every month. And I think it's a great way to receive monthly mail if you want to support my channel and support my creative journey. So thank you so much for watching, and I do hope you look forward to more videos as we wrap up this year. I can't believe I'm saying that. That's like 2 months before the year ends. It was a very wild year, but thank you for sticking it out with me on this journey. And let me know in the comments what your top 3 pens are, top 3 inks are, or if you have a favorite, like all-time favorite pen or a new pen that you've discovered. Let's chat in the comments. I will see you on the next video, and always be creating. Bye!